When the chips are down and democracy's back is up against the wall, two radio veterans step up to the microphone to right the wrongs, standing for truth, justice, and just because. To say what needs to be said. It's John and Gordy on 92.7 WMDX.
WMDX, it's John Peterson, Gordy Young in the morning.
Hey now.
And another big day, another slew of weird news and idiocracy. It just doesn't stop, and they just passed the big bad bill.
The big bad bill?
They just passed it
In the House.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. It's not in the Senate yet.
No.
But anyway, who could have predicted that? Who could have predicted that the House would somehow, find the votes to pass the dumbest bill in the world? People are starting to catch on to this whole game. And the fact that this is one of the cruelest bills ever passed in the U.S., I think it'll go down in history. I mean, this is punitive. Everything the Republicans do is punitive, and we do that in this state constantly. We always penalize everybody. We don't give them anything. We don't fund anything. We penalize them. And this is one of those huge, big, bad bills that punishes everybody. And wait till you hear what's in that damn bill.
Oh, boy.
After 7 o'clock, we'll be featuring some debates. Adam Schiff and who is it?
Selden?
Sheldon Whitehouse. They will be trying to get some answers from the administration department heads, and they don't get any answers. And you're going to be really surprised at this. A lot of people, a lot of parents out there have deductions. They have dependents that we have to take care of. Well, that's changing. You will not believe this. And the implications are gigantic, huge. Just wait till you find out.
Okay.
All right, and that's all coming up next hour. But of course,
I can't wait.
We've got idiocracy. We got to cover the smaller stories. But that'll be maybe after Brittany Merlot, because we've got Jim Slekar from Busted Pencils coming in at 7:35 or 6:35. Tim Slekar.
Tim Slekar.
Okay, what did I say,
We
Jim?
really shouldn't have booked Jim and Tim on the same day, should we?
What did I say, Jim?
You said Jim.
Jim Slekar.
I think you were thinking also Jim Santelle.
Jim Santelle
will
after
be joining us.
7:30. Yes. I
Yes.
can't keep track anymore.
I know. It's a jam-packed show.
It is.
It's cloudy out there this morning, and it's kind of chilly.
Well, I feel a little disoriented because I don't have my watch on.
Well, I noticed.
Forgot to
you
put it
keep
on.
forgetting it. Why? I thought you slept with it on, right?
Oh, well, I do, and then I take it off when I get up, and it charges within an hour. So it's charged for the rest of the day until I take it off again in the morning. Okay. So, I mean, I have a routine here. But my son came up this morning, and he was telling me how the Democrats are voting and who votes more Democratic and who isn't.
Okay.
And he's on this thing because Gen Zs, they want to change the way the Congress works. They want some youth in there. They want something better. And they don't want these old traditional voters, allowing something like this to happen.
There ought to be an age limit. Right?
You know what the Onion headline that I got yesterday was?
What was that?
It was cobweb-covered skeleton grips his desk as he claims he'll run for a 15th term in the Senate.
Oh, no.
That's good.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I love
what
that.
It's come to, so it's cloudy. It's chilly out there. 44 degrees on the WMDX thermometer right outside our window overlooking State Street, here from the global headquarters of Civic Media. And it feels like 39 degrees. There's a little bit of a light breeze. But what would the afternoon high be today? What shall we use? Which one of our many devices? Did we get the weather wheel fixed? Do you want to do that?
I think we have the weather wheel fixed up and ready to go. We haven't heard this in a long, long time.
Right, yeah. In storage. Yeah, Good spin there, Sam.
Throwing off a lot of cobwebs.
And it's, what does that say? 59. That's what I'm seeing from here. Okay. 59 degrees will be the high for today. It's too bad we don't know sunrise, sunset. You don't have your watch on. Do you have that information handy?
I pulled up my weather app, and it's blank. It's
great.
It's not telling me what
That
the
means we're not going to have weather today.
Yes, no temperatures, no highs, no lows. Kind of calm.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. Bump into walls?
I guess.
That's what I'm going to do this.
All right.
Well, okay, here we go.
Well, you want
Do
to?
we have the National Day calendar pulled up?
Well, I thought we weren't going to do that anymore, but I'll just mention a few
I wasn't going to
things.
do it anymore. What am I thinking?
I mean, if we were going to do it, we'd find out about National Craft Distillery Day, but I know you don't drink beer anymore, so you don't care about that. National Solitaire Day. You play solitaire?
No, it's a game, right? I don't play games.
National Vanilla Pudding Day.
Vanilla pudding? I love vanilla pudding.
Do you really?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
Everybody loves vanilla, right?
No, I can't stand it.
Wow.
National Biomusical Instrument Day. Wait a minute. National Biomusical Instrument Day.
Wow.
Sam, I didn't know you played trombone.
I sure don't.
Well,
how did it get in here?
Look out. Don't hit Dominic with that slidey thing. There's no room in there for a trombone.
How did that get in there? Why do we have a trombone in here?
Every radio station has a trombone, John.
It's FCC law now. New administration. So how did you come to get that trombone if you're not a trombone player?
Well, I kind of wanted it just for the bit, you know? Trombones are just such a fun instrument. Found it on Facebook Marketplace a few months ago.
How much?
No, really.
How much?
Well, it was half broken at the time. I fixed it up, but it was only like $30 or $40.
Wow.
What?
That's a good deal.
How did it break? I mean, it looks like one piece.
One of the tubes was missing, so activated my plumbing skills and soldered on a new brass pipe, but yeah.
Dominic, do you play any musical instruments? It's National Biomusical Instrument Day.
I used to play the recorder when I was in first grade.
Oh,
heck
yeah.
The recorder.
Other than that, I have not touched a musical instrument since.
I used to play with my tape recorder.
Wrong recorder.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, those recorders, those plastic recorders.
Yeah.
Do you think that company would still be in business if it wasn't for first grade classes all across America,
Exactly.
just forcing kids to try to play any kind of musical instrument? Because they don't, you don't progress anywhere.
Well, it didn't inspire Dom to go any further with the musical interest.
Yeah, I think I had a black belt too. There used to be like a colors on the recorder that you can like how
really
good you are at the recorder.
Yeah.
That's like it determines like if you have the black belt or a yellow belt or anything like that.
And what did you did
you move up to the black belt?
I think I just had an orange belt, so I think level 2.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah,
you really worked up there.
Well, do we have any history items
yes,
to talk about today for May 22nd?
Oh, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to open the book?
Please open the book.
Oh, God.
No,
Get ready.
Don't,
Get ready.
Don't do that.
Look out, Tom.
All right. I'm going to... He blew his nose.
I can't be in this room anymore.
He blew his nose.
What's that, Tom?
I cannot be in this room anymore.
Okay. Tom is now, he wants to get out of there.
He's kind of soured on this whole thing.
Jeez.
Gosh, I wonder what's happened in the history book that we had the trombone speak up there.
Right. Well, it is by musical instrument
You're right.
day,
You're right.
so
it must be that.
It makes sense.
I wonder what happened on this day for them to choose May 22nd as.
Well, I don't know. We don't do the National Day calendar anymore.
No.
Well, I guess
didn't
we'll
really
never.
look
I guess
that
we'll
up.
never know then, Gordy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I don't
fine.
know.
There's
I don't
nothing
know.
really
All
going
right.
on.
Well, stuff that we actually know that happened today.
Okay.
A little bit of downer history, I guess. Today, 1939, the Axis powers officially formed. Germany and Italy, they signed their big agreement.
Not good.
Not good. Japan joined them shortly thereafter, but that was the initial.
Axis of evil.
This coming up here, 1992, Johnny Carson, he hosted his last show.
Yeah,
Tonight
that's
Show.
right. Do you remember who was
far
on there?
before I was born. So Johnny Carson is not as big of a deal to me as it is to you guys. But can you remember who was his last guest?
I don't remember the last guest.
You don't remember the singer that got on Johnny's desk?
On the desk. Was that it? Really?
Rolled around on there while she sang a song.
Was that Bette Midler?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it. I didn't think that was the last. I know, they lead up to these last shows.
Yeah.
I get confused.
Well, Johnny led up to it for a year. All the guests. Yeah.
All I remember is that Letterman didn't get it. And boy, that was a
that was a big disappointment.
that was a controversy.
And the guy who did take over after Johnny, of course, was
Jay Leno.
And now, here's Gordy.
All right. There you go. I am so glad you had that.
My imagination, or is that some weird stuff? I mean, that is weird, wild, wacky stuff.
You are correct, sir.
Little Phil Hartman.
Yeah, Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
SNL. Anything else happen on this date?
So you guys are gonna have to fill me in on this. I should have looked up the video of this happening. Today in 2004, then President Bush crashed his mountain bike. Do you remember hearing about this story?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I don't really remember that. What? He wasn't seriously injured, obviously.
No, he kind of just got up and kept riding, but people sort of made fun of him for it. Right?
Well, I remember when
he was-
Biden fell off his bike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
a couple
news to
years
me
ago.
too. I don't know how I missed that. I saw the video of that yesterday.
Well,
that was pretty
he
fun.
was seriously injured in that. President Bush was.
He wasn't.
Oh, was he?
Well, that's why he was in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
No, I think you're making this up now.
just
Wrong
kidding.
Bush, John.
I'm just kidding. I remember it. I don't remember the details.
Okay.
Bush was a total incompetent, so I wasn't surprised.
You didn't pay much attention to him.
No, I did.
Oh,
But it was his puppet master that I paid more attention to, and that's Dick Cheney.
Oh, yes. That's right.
we were
Ah,
just
those were
going
the
on and on
days.
yesterday about how the man in the White House right now isn't really in charge.
That's true. I did. I should have brought that up. Yeah, but who's in charge? Well, we know that Project 2025 is in charge of the White House.
Okay. And
Russell Vaughn.
Russell Vaughn. Okay.
Or vote.
Vote.
They say vote now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 18 minutes past the hour. This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning is brought to you by our friends at Madison Hearing Aid Center.com, 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison. They offer fast and flexible appointments, helping people change their lives. Their number one goal isn't just selling hearing aids, it's improving the quality of life through better hearing and individualized care, not one size fits all. MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. Go to their website. You can get a simple hearing test there and then set up an appointment, and Jim and Sarah will take care of you.
We've both gotten our hearing aids.
Yeah, that's right. They're working great. That's MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. Okay. Coming up a little bit later on, Tim Slekar will join us from Busted Pencils in just a little while. And then in our next hour, Jim Santelle, attorney at law. Just getting started on a Thursday morning in beautiful downtown Madison. It's John and Gordy in your morning.
Well, kids, there it is, Capital City.
There's a swinging town I know called Capital City.
Madison.
People stop and scream hello in Capital City.
On State Street.
It's the kind of place that makes a bum feel like a king.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes a king feel like some nutty cuckoo super king.
Look, it's Tony Bennett.
Hey, good to see you. It's against the law to frown in Capital City.
We passed that law.
You'll caper like a stupid clown when you chance to see 4th Street MD, yeah. Once you get a whiff of it, you'll never want to roam from Capital City, my home sweet, yeah. Capital City, that happy tall city.
Bring it.
It's Capital City, my home sweet, swinging home.
Oh, yeah, man. Broadcasting from the capital city. John and Gordy in the morning, WMDX 92.7, or on your Civic Media app. Join us.
Mm-hmm.
And text us like Doug always does from St. Francis. He says, you guys do an incredible job of supporting your sponsors.
Yes.
Catherine has a Verlo mattress. John got his hearing aids and hearing checked. I think it's time for Gordy to try testosterone booster products and join the manosphere.
Oh, okay. All right, Doug. I see where you're going there. Thanks for that text. You can call us or text us. Use the Civic Media app. It's easy to do. You just download it, get it on your phone. Yeah, piece of cake. You can text right there. It's free. Or you can call us,
Now
608.
you're kind of regretting advising people to text us.
Well, Doug, we what is it with Doug? We hear from him every single day for months,
Yeah.
and then he just drops off.
I know.
And we didn't hear from him for
Well,
2 or 3 weeks. Now he's back.
Yeah,
Did he go to Mexico again?
I have a theory. It's a temper tantrum
Is it?
because we don't actually do a lot of what he suggests, even though they're great ideas.
Terrific ideas. Yeah. This portion of the show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing remains constant since they opened their doors in the very first part of 1958.
Well, great.
Way back when. They're still direct-to-consumer and provide superior products at unbeatable prices. Verlo Mattress, 2 locations, East Side and West Side in Madison. Go to their website, verlo.com, for more information. Check out their lifetime comfort guarantee and their selection of adjustable bed frames. There.
Well, thank you for
I did that
adding
just
that.
for you.
Yes.
Verlo Mattress.
They're having a run on
of
bed
Madison.
frames, by the way.
No, they're not. Go to verlo.com. Over to you, John Peterson.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to break the barrier of people thinking that it's a hospital bed, and having an adjustable bed is just wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not going to go on about it, though. You did a great job of popping that right in there. Let's go to the phones right now, and we have Matt out in Middleton. Hey, Matt, what's going on?
Morning, guys. You put out the feeler for someone to call in, so I just happened to think I would help you out there.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
So I had a thought today. You know how retirement homes in these development communities, they have these brochures to sell their living standard to you?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, what do you think that brochure would look like for this whites-only tech fused, robot fused, gated CEO driven communities that these tech bros want to create for everyone?
In the future.
Oh, wait, only the white people. Sorry, not everyone.
That's right. Yes.
What do you think that brochure would look like? What would they tell you?
Yeah, that'd be a great project. I think some elementary school teachers should set that project in motion.
I think that
Yeah,
that's
I'd like
a
to
perfect
see some
project for
samples.
AI to do. Just ask AI what the retirement home
there you go.
brochure
Sure.
for a white tech bro would be.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
used it. I haven't used AI. I haven't used any of those apps at all.
Mm.
I should. I really.
Test
I
them out.
want to, but I just don't have time. I honestly do not have time
Well,
to
it's
try
to
these
save
things
time.
out.
It saves you time.
And,
No?
no. I mean, I research everything anyway. I don't really need to have AI helping me out. But what I want to do is I want to have fun with it. I want to play with it, and I haven't had time to do that, Matt. So, but we can't.
You get all nasty on Matt.
No, it would be fun. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm
We're
lashing.
meant to just
I'm
make a
lashing out at.
suggestion.
I'm lashing out at you because
Lash out.
they passed a big bad bill this morning. Okay, and
It did pass.
it did
Yes,
pass.
it
yeah.
just passed right before we went
That's
on
the
the
House
air.
at least, yeah.
Passed the House. Now it
Yeah.
goes to the Senate.
By
Yeah.
one vote. Big
Game's
surprise.
over. I'm looking for a suicide booth this month.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks. Thanks for that project. That's a good idea. We should try and find out. As being in the upper echelons of our age group, we
Yeah?
get a lot of that mail, don't we? Senior living.
Oh yeah, I get that every day. I like
Yeah.
crap. Yeah. Goes right in the
All that
dumpsters.
Tell us what
But-
you really think, man.
Well, if you're angry, if you're frustrated,
Yeah.
I hear you. But Madison now has a place where you can break stuff. You can smash your stress away. That's right. At Crash Box Therapy, they are bringing us this part of the show. Crash Box Therapy, 319 Beltline Highway next to Pitcher's Pub. Break, stomp, shatter, and yell out all your pain or joys at Crash Box Therapy. Make your appointment now. CrashBoxTherapy.com. That's CrashBoxTherapy.com. Right around the corner, Tim Slekar will be joining us.
Yes.
After the Midwest Farm Report with Ham Yankee. Next, right here on WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning.
Are you driving, Tim?
I am driving.
What the hell?
GOP heist of the century. This is
I'm
Huff-
driving in the
HuffPost.
rain.
Oh,
Oh, is
God.
that Huffington Post?
Are you being safe
Yeah.
about it?
Let's read
with
that.
us? You guys aren't
Let's
even
read that.
listening, are you?
Let's see.
Oh, no,
I
I'm
don't know
listening.
What is safe?
Oh, what
What'd
does
he
it say? Yeah.
No, John.
What?
You're not listening.
I am.
He's driving in the rain, and I said, "Is that safe?"
Oh,
While he's like on the call with
yeah,
us,
yeah.
and I said, "Is it safe?" And you said, "That's I don't know, whatever."
Yeah.
Well, are you?
All right.
You want to give us a traffic report from where you?
Yeah,
Right.
the Interstate 79 from Pittsburgh to Erie. In the nor'easter, lots of rain.
Yeah.
Oh, great, great.
Visibility, one car.
Save it. Okay.
Ooh,
Well, save
Okay,
it for
I'll
on
save
air,
it.
and we don't want you to get hurt. So,
until we're on the air.
till we get on the air, then then you can get hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a few stories for us here. Unless you have something that you wanted to kind of touch on from.
No, if you got some stories, that'd be good. I mean, it's you know.
All right.
We want to talk about the white genocide in South Africa.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. No, actually, I have Linda McMahon, who is trying to shift the Department of Ed federally to the states, and I think that is a huge problem, don't you?
Yeah.
And then I have Ryan Walters. I love his response to a television reporter there who's asking questions about being so low in the ratings as far as education in their state is. and I thought we could talk about that as well.
There is never a day that it's not a good day to talk about Ryan Walters.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, one day we will all see something.
Yeah. Yeah, he is just he is truly a piece of work, and there's a TV station there. It's K4, KFOR. He calls it K4, and apparently, there's a K4 actually put out a. I'll get to the story. I'll surprise you with it. But
Okay.
it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. It's nutty. And then he tells this guy, it's fake news. Yeah, anytime you actually nail him with facts, it's always fake news. God.
Well,
these people.
And maybe that reflects the low scores, that they're not really low scores. That's fake news.
Yes, exactly. That's all
if
it
we
is.
knew.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Where do I have Linda McMahon? Grills Trump's Ed Secretary Linda McMahon, shifting costs to the states.
Yeah, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, states.
Yeah.
We don't. We got $1 trillion tax cut we need to fund. Damn it.
Exactly. And they just, they passed that bill this morning. So.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know.
30 seconds.
It's getting sad. Getting sad. It's
What's it?
It's
Yeah,
painful.
there's a lot of painful things in that bill that we're going to get to next hour. That
snap way back.
Adam Schiff brought up,
10
and then Sheldon Whitehouse brought up, and it's really it's grotesque, is what it is.
Well, I saw Chuck Schumer being very.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Moonshine Light, the new low-calorie illegal whiskey for people who are looking for an easy way to lose excess pounds and their livers.
Sounds like a good plan.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
WMDX 92.7, John and Gordy in the morning on a beautiful day so far.
Beautiful. Kind of cloudy.
Yeah.
Kind of overcast. Looks like the clouds may break for some sunshine this afternoon. It's 44 chilly degrees. High today, just 59.
It's not so beautiful where Dr. Tim Slekar is at right now.
That's right. Yes.
Tim is on the road right now, calling in, and it's time to find out what's going on in Busted Pencil. We have a couple stories here and names that we love to talk about very often here on Busted Pencils, right?
It's all about education.
It is. Mm-hmm. So,
Tim, first of all, let's get a traffic report. Where are you, and what's it like?
Well, in case anybody in the Madison area is planning on driving Interstate 79 between Pittsburgh and Erie, Pennsylvania, we're it's a 40-day rain.
Right.
Local farmers are taking people on their boats, and I'm driving into, I don't know, I think the visibility is about one car. So,
wow.
Be careful, man.
Take it easy, man.
It's safe. It's very safe.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it, because I'm thinking of going to that Costco over there. And all right.
John's doing a coast-to-coast Costco tour.
That's right.
trying to hit them all.
I guess I've been talking about them a little bit too much. Now they want me to represent them. So that would be nice, though. I'd love to have that pocket change. All right. Let's get to our first favorite person to talk about, and that is Linda McMahon. She is the Secretary of the Department of Ed, and she's been hired to destroy the Department of Ed. I don't know what party could possibly get away with putting people in charge to destroy their own department, but somehow they got away with something like this, right? I mean, the Republican MAGAs, what are they thinking? They put the right person in place.
Well, Okay, seriousness, right? I mean, this is what they said they were going to do. You know, so I mean, for anybody who's going, wow, I didn't see that coming. It's like, well, really?
You weren't paying attention.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
It was like the pitcher saying, like, look, I'm going to throw a slow curve that's going to break right at the home run spot where you swing.
That's right.
It's a rough, yeah,
it's tough.
But it's a hard thing to look at daily though, and to see that you say the dismantling of a department that really provides funding to fill in the gaps where the states don't have the ability to fund. For example, as we said, special education.
Right.
And people say, well, they said they were going to give it back to the states. And that's where education is supposed to be. In fact, constitutionally, education is represented in every state's constitution. And the federal government has no constitutional authority over education. So this is just plain old good constitutional integrity. And it's back where it belongs. But the problem is that federal legislation on the requirements, and I'm going to stay in the special education frame, says that students with special needs have to be taken care of. And where states' funding falls short in that, that's where the Department of Education came in and said, in fact, here's the law and here's the money so that you can do what the law says.
Exactly. Yeah, and what they want to do now, and it's a clash of agendas. Republicans in state want to cut education funding. Now the government, the federal government, wants to cut education funding. We've got a real problem here. Why don't we play this cut? This is Representative Dean talking to Linda McMahon about shifting the costs from the federal government to the state. This is cut 150. All right.
Why are you shuttering a department that's supposed to lift up those children?
Because those programs don't have to flow through the Department of Education, and they
can flow through the state. I was a state legislator. That's called shift and shaft. I've spoken with the governor of Pennsylvania. They can't pick up the tab anymore for education of our students. Not to mention, it would be inequitable by state, by state, by state. Why are you in this job at all? If you don't have a dedication to the future of our children, why are you in this job?
I, too, am a mother and a grandmother, and I want the best for my family going forward.
Vouchers.
For my grandchildren, for my great-grandchildren, and I hope to leave a legacy that we have established best practices for education that all the states can use. That would be a great legacy to be able to leave, to be able to show states these are some of the things that they can do. I think states have to look at their budgets.
Madam Secretary, the legacy you will be leaving is that I shut down the Department of Education. How we educate our children determines not just their future, but our own. But I think it's a sad legacy you will leave. I yield back.
All right, that's it. Mic drop.
Wow.
Yeah. And some really good points there. Again, the states cannot pick up the dime on this thing. They can't fund it. And they've been cutting funding for education. So this is a clash. And this is what happens when you have the same agenda working at both sides, the state and federal government.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, the home state right there, Wisconsin, is an example. I mean, thank goodness for Governor Evers right now. But again, the state legislature continues to defund public education, and you mix that together with the federal defunding, and wow, look at the problems.
Yes, and that applies also to higher education. They're obviously going to find some reason to deny increasing funding for the UW system here in the state. Every budget, they do the same thing. They object to something the UW has done, and then they say they're going to cut funding or hold up funding. And it's just, it's the same thing every biennial. Every time they want to pass a budget, this is what happens. And it's just ridiculous. And now, of course, I think they're going to make some cuts to the Pell Grants and some of the funding for college loans, right? I think that's what's also on the agenda on this big bad bill that you just passed this morning in the House.
Oh, there's Tim.
Because the rain became
Big
a little
bad,
too much for him.
Wait, I thought it was beautiful.
No, I refuse to say that. If I hear anybody say beautiful on that thing, I'm really going to be angry. It is a bad bill. Horrible, horrific.
Did we lose Tim?
He's been lost in the storm.
He's driving through some rain there in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Visibility is about one car right now.
Do we have the Doors
can we
song?
Can we?
We'll get him back in just a second.
Yeah.
It's a
Let me take this opportunity.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh, you're back. All right.
Now you're back, Tim.
Yeah, I think I'm back, right?
Yeah, I think so. You've always been there, but you're back with us.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Where were we?
Well, we were talking about.
Yeah, I think I'm back.
College funding. I mean, they're going after that too, in the big bad bill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the other thing to kind of look at this. People are like, why? And I'll come back to my, I guess, role model mentor, Diane Ravitch, who's been, historian of American education. And she always comes back, there are all these potential reasons, but the biggest reason to look at this is to do away with public education and the commitment to a universal, well-rounded education that situates public students, the public, for life in democracy. And when you do this to education, what you're saying very straightforward is that we do not believe in educating the public. We do not want to educate. So there it is. It's straightforward. These are, they're not ideological cuts to diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is a direct cut on freedom of thought and freedom to learn. And
yeah. That's what I've been saying all along. It's really a freedom of thought thing. Association. I mean, if you want diversity, equity, and inclusion, what's wrong with that? It's an idea that they're banning and saying is illegal and racist. It's a very, very strange thought process. And by the way, I wanted to always ask this, Tim. When we look at funding education for college, I'm wondering how are they going to make standards for each and every state? Each and every state, of course, can adjust their education any way they want. How do these colleges kind of sift through their student applicants if every state has these crazy different ideas about teaching in school, certain courses, certain classes? Let's just say Florida, because we know Florida is crazy. How do they accept students? I mean, I think this is a real detriment to a lot of students trying to go to college, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, John. I mean, I don't know. I guess who can write the most incredibly gracious essay on why they like President Trump and Ron DeSantis, and a full scholarship will be awarded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Stretches the imagination, doesn't it? All right. Let me see. Wait. What's that?
Yeah. We don't want to. SAT scores, ACT scores. Come on. Hey, we want to see your commitment to the leader.
Exactly. And see how good a patriot you are. Mm-hmm. It's that patriot education that I'm really worried about. Wow. All right, let's get to Ryan Walters. We love Ryan Walters, the superintendent of schools in Oklahoma. He lashed out at a TV station there, K4, a reporter, for asking if he should take responsibility for the state being consistently rated at the bottom for education, ranking 48th out of 50 states. And as expected, Walters had his pat answer. Let's go to that. Cut 128.
You're blaming on other people. Sure. So let's take a look at that question again. K4 gets it fundamentally wrong, which at least you're consistent of being wrong.
So we are not in the bottom of education. We've continued to see dramatic increases in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. No, y'all don't care to report facts. Facts are stubborn. Hey, look, K4, I got it. You're fake news. I got you. That K4 will consistently report lies, and I'm going to consistently call you out on those. So thank you for the question. Again, you couldn't be more wrong. You guys are always wrong. And Oklahoma taxpayers are tired of it. They're tired of your lies. They are tired of the media not putting a spotlight on an issue like the budget. K4 doesn't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the amounts, the costs to taxpayers. They don't care. And so, folks, I gave you a question. You don't like my answer. But that's okay. So what you're going to continue to see is fake news like K4 try to cover up the major issues facing American families.
That's right.
Oklahoma families, do you want more money in your pocket or not? Do you want your income taxed? I think the answer is no. I hear it every day. Do you want your property taxed for the rest of your life? I think the answer is no. So I'm going to continue to fight against lobbyists, special interest, fake news media outlets, and I will continue to defend the people of Oklahoma unapologetically.
All right, Tim, we want your answer after this break. We got to take a break right here, but crazy stuff.
We'll be back with more with Dr. Tim Slekar on the road. Talking about education on John and Gordy in the morning.
I feel good.
Boy, that cut is amazing. I'm gonna try not to say anything, but he essentially said, "I'm not going to do my job."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a kind of a Linda McMahon indirectly. But I do want to get to the details of it. I'll fill you in here first, though. It is he wants defunding of education.
Yes.
Okay, that's the big story for me. This is the superintendent of Oklahoma schools saying, "I don't want you to fund my schools. I want people to take more of their taxes back."
Yes. And that 48, come on, that's fake news.
Absolutely. So let's get to that, and that's about it. That's what I got.
Well, I mean, on if you look at it from the standpoint of fake news, I mean, getting closer to 50, they're almost there.
Yep. Something to celebrate.
All right. Yeah. I mean, we all keep thinking that it's a problem, and he's like, wait a minute, we're almost there.
Yep. Oh, you got to say that. Yeah. Okay. Let's make that point. There's so much more to this story too that they included that the legislature didn't pass a lot of what he wanted, and it's a Republican legislature. Help us.
Yeah.
All right.
Boy,
busted pencil
he's
Monday,
still
Wednesday,
auditioning,
Friday.
Isn't he?
Yeah. For a department that's going out of business, I guess, but it's kind of weird to understand that too. Is it going to be there or is it not going to be there?
Tim, what time is your show on Saturdays? Are we losing?
I think it's 3 to 4, isn't it?
I think it's either 3 or 3:30.
What?
Tim, he is.
It's an hour.
Okay.
It's an hour long.
Oh, we lost him. Okay. I got to do a hearing aid spot here. Do, 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 do. 22:30. Now he's back. Tim, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. You hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah,
Hello.
Quite a bit of delay there.
Yes. What time is your show on Saturdays? Is it 3?
3 o'clock.
Okay.
10 seconds. Right before the spotlight.
Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the golden rule.
Remember the old
American
days,
history.
education. Oh, yeah.
Reading, writing, arithmetic.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning.
6:52, cloudy today. Temperatures in the mid-40s this morning, getting into the upper 50s later on. This portion of John and Gordy in the morning brought to you by our friends at Madison Hearing Aid Center. They're at 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison. Jim and Sarah do a fantastic job with hearing aids, and their goal isn't just selling those aids, it's improving the quality of life through better hearing. They offer fast and flexible appointments. They really take care of you right from the start. You can go to their website, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com, do a simple hearing test there, and then set up an appointment. And again, they're at 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison. Family-owned and community-focused, individualized care, not one size fits all. It's MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. That's their website. We've both been there. We both have
that's right.
some help now with some hearing aids. Fantastic folks there, Jim and Sarah.
All right, let's get back to Busted Pencils. Of course, you can hear their podcasts on the Civic Media app. Also, they have a live show on Saturdays 3 to 4. Check that out as well. And we're talking about right now Ryan Walters. He's the superintendent of public schools in Oklahoma, and he says it's fake news that his school system is ranked 48th out of 50 states.
Well, I was thinking about that. I think he's right. Because if you're talking about counting, I mean, typically you count up. And so if you've got 50 in the number line, if you're 48, you're really close to the top.
In his mind.
Yeah. He's working his way up to 50. Definitely.
They're
top of the list of the worst.
They're almost there.
Yeah. And the fact that, I mean, if you remember the cut, and I know that I have a very big problem with attention span. If you remember the cut, he is asking for less funding for his schools.
Yeah.
As the advocate for education in his state, he wants less funding because he wants people to take more of their tax dollars home with them.
Yes, right. I mean, because, the last thing that the public schools need is resources. I mean,
right.
You think about it. He's got a goal. He's trying to get to 50, and less money would help him meet that goal.
No, here's the thing. This is a Republican legislature, right? And this is what Walters told him. I told the legislature, don't give all the money you gave me last time. And they said, we're going to give it to you anyway. My head just explodes just thinking about this. And by the way, he also asked for students getting a Bible, the Trump Bible, with the Constitution in it and everything like that. Every student should get that. The Republican legislature turned him down on that one. You think?
When I was in 4th grade, they gave every kid in my class a dictionary. I guess the Bible's what kids are getting instead these days.
Yeah, things have changed. All right.
Sam, I'm sorry, but the dictionary, there are words in that dictionary, diversity, it's in that dictionary, and see, that's the problem. That's what happened.
There's some bad words in there, right?
Yeah, when you were in 4th grade, you see how you got wokely indoctrinated?
See? Yeah. Equity is in there as well. And I know an inclusion is probably another word.
I can't believe how the school system failed me like that. Gosh.
But the Bible probably doesn't have any of that stuff that we know of anyway.
Right.
Oh,
well, I tell you right now, the Bible and the story of Noah seems to be appropriate right now for me.
Once again, where are you on your way?
Here, I'll give you a visual.
Oh, okay. For those of you watching on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah, there we go.
Boy, rain
the
is
windshield
coming down.
wipers going.
Wait a minute. Are you driving and throwing your camera around? Okay.
Yeah.
Both hands on the wheel there, Tim.
Hey, I got both my knees on the wheel.
Okay. Okay. Good. somewhere.
Well, education, it doesn't look really good at this point with Trump in charge, and we're only a little over 100 days in, Tim. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen here with education in this country?
Okay, I think we lost Tim once again in the rainstorm.
In
there
one
he is.
way, I think. Am I here?
Yes.
Yes.
We got you.
We got you.
Oh, I'm here.
Yep.
I
got just a minute or two.
Yeah, I think that in one way that we're actually seeing people getting tired of it.
Yeah.
Education, which.
Okay. I think Tim is heading into some heavy rain.
Oh, yeah, and another thing, Tim, what they have done also is they're cutting funding for green energy. And a lot of these schools are updating and building new, and they want to put solar panels on their schools, and all that now is going away because there won't be any rebates that they could take advantage of. So the whole thing is kind of collapsing from all different ends.
Mm-hmm. I think we may have lost our connection with Tim.
He's gone down with the ship.
He drove off the road. No.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, we're just about out of time anyway. You can listen to Busted Pencils Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They drop new podcasts. And then Saturdays at 3 o'clock on the Civic Media Radio Network with Tim Slekar and Johnny Lupinacci.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
This portion of the show being brought to you by our friends at Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing that remains constant since they opened their doors way back in 1958. They are still direct-to-consumer, providing superior products at unbeatable prices. 2 locations in Madison, East Side and West Side. Or check them out online at verlo.com.
And Busted Pencils has a new producer as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob the Wonder Boy, they call him. Jacob the Wonder Boy.
Tune in for that. Jacob the Wonder. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. In our next hour, we'll check in with Brittany Merlot on our weather and also attorney Jim Santelle. Coming up on John and Gordy in the Morning. Stay with us.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
the John and Gordy Show.
Do you know what this means?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kick are you on, son?
No good bastard. Your show sucks.
What made me think this was a good day to stop drinking?
Buddy, do you want coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Black coffee.
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 They warned us about people like you.
What a load of crap.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? We'll do it live.
And that's the way it is.
On 92.7 FM, WMDX. Take it away, boys.
Oh, boy, do we have a lot of bad news for you this hour.
Yes, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
It's cloudy, but look, a little bit of sunshine trying to break through the clouds this morning. A little light breeze out there. We're at 44 degrees, highs in the upper 50s for today. And this portion of the show being brought to you by our friends at Crash Box Therapy. Madison now has a place where you can break stuff, John. You can go in there and just break some stuff. You know, you're all stressed out.
Yeah.
You can just smash your stress away at Crash Box Therapy.
I do that just trying to fix things around the house.
I know you do. Yeah, and your family is quite annoyed at that. So why don't you go to Crash Box Therapy? They're at 319 Beltline Highway, right next to Pitcher's Pub. You can break stuff, you can stomp, you can shatter, you can yell out about your pain or your joys at Crash Box Therapy. Make your appointment now. Go to crashboxtherapy.com. That's crashboxtherapy.com. I don't know if you actually have to make an appointment. I think you can just walk in, and if it's
tear things
open,
apart.
start tearing things apart.
Do they?
There's a yes.
Do they take donations? That's what I'm wondering.
Well,
I said, I got a TV set that just went.
We should go to their website, Crashbox Therapy.
I wonder if you can use like specific items, like if you had an ex who left an appliance or something at your house, like a toaster or
bring
something.
Bring it along.
It reminds you of them. You could bring it along and bash it up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have all these options.
Well, I'm dialing up their website right now.
All right, we should just find out.
Crashbox Therapy.
Yeah, this hour, we're going to get into a lot of the details of the big bad bill that just passed the House this morning as we got here in the studio, and it's outrageous and it's ridiculous and your head will explode, but it's good to know at least some of these things that are in this bill. And they have, look, this is a bill of punishment. This is a bill to tell people you're staying where you are. The billionaires will be moving ahead, but you will stay in place, running in place, trying to keep up paycheck to paycheck. These guys aren't for the working class in any way, shape, or form. They weren't before the election. They certainly aren't now, and they're proving it with a big bad bill that just passed. Your mind will have a hard time accepting this first story that I have for you.
Okay.
And this is cut 152. Cue this baby up. This is this. Now, if you're a parent or were a parent, but you know the implications of this is truly an amazing thing. Okay. Cut 152. This is a shocking moment. Representative Santelle Brown exposes the cruel side of the mega plan. Listen.
My amendment would strike an especially harsh provision in this bill that is rooted in cruelty, not policy. This simple, straightforward amendment would strike the work requirement provision in this big, bad, ugly bill that lowers the age of what we call a dependent child from 18 to 7. From 18 years old to 7 years old. So I'm abundantly clear. We're saying that 8, 9, and 10-year-olds are no longer considered dependent children. Where did this come from? Why is this necessary? Since when is a first grader not a dependent child? Preventing families with children as young as 7 from losing food assistance, that is what we're debating here.
That's right. If they're a dependent, they can get the food assistance.
Yeah.
If they're not anymore, then you can't. They don't qualify.
Right.
And there are so many things tied in with the dependent issue, and to lower it down to 7 years, honestly, they passed it. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
All right. So there you go. That's the first piece of nightmare that we're going to present today. And they were, the Republicans were grilled on this. Department heads were grilled on all of this stuff. And I want to present this. This is Representative Teresa Ledger Fernandez. She talked to Representative Jason Smith, who refused to read a part of their own bill to her. She asked him to read it, but he wouldn't. So let's listen to cut 142. This is cut 142.
Would you please, so that the American public knows what this bill does, one of the little things that it does, would you please read page 901, line 20?
I think it'd be better if you read it.
Oh, he doesn't want to read it. I'll read it.
I know the
actually, Ranking Member Moore, Ranking Member Moore
here, so you can read it.
It was a question if we would read it, so I'll ask Ranking Member Moore to read the text. This is in their bill. They don't want to read a line from their own bill. Ranking Member.
I don't want to read the bill for you. I'll help you out. I am testifying about this legislation. Yeah. I'm not going to read the bill to you.
Woo.
Okay, I am. This is amazing.
Ms. Lager Fernandez, shall I pass this back or shall I read it for
why don't you just read it?
I am a member of this committee. I am the ranking vice chair of the committee. It says Section 111106, repeal of excise tax on indoor tanning services.
So they're going to repeal. They're repealing an excise tax. Oh God! On tanning beds. They're repealing a tax on silencers. At the same, so they're going to, okay, so if you have a tanning bed, you get a little bit of a tax break. And if you need a hospital bed in rural America, I'm sorry, you're out of luck.
There you go. I mean, that breaks it down, doesn't it? And that's what passed.
Unbelievable.
That's what passed. Now, Adam Schiff read a part of the EPA laws that they want to repeal.
Yeah.
And EPA Director Lee Zeldin was on the hot seat for this one, and I want you to play cut 143 on this. This is incredible arrogance again. You just heard an arrogant individual not want to read it to a female representative, okay? Wow. All right, a little sexism there. But then we have now this, Lee Zeldin, also not wanting to cooperate with the questioning. This is Adam Schiff with the question.
I want to be very specific about the legacy you're going to leave if you're successful in eliminating half of our efforts to clean our water and our air. Your legacy will be more lung cancer. It'll be more bladder cancer. It'll be more head and neck cancer. It'll be more breast cancer. It'll be more leukemia and pancreatic cancer, more liver cancer, more skin cancer, more kidney cancer, more testicular cancer, more colorectal cancer, more rare cancers of innumerable varieties. That will be your legacy. I don't know that that's a legacy that anyone should want to have. My kids are going to be breathing that air just like yours. My family's going to be drinking the water just like yours. We may not be able to pinpoint just who gets cancer because you've done away with half the budget of those looking out for our clean water and clean air. But it's going to be somebody's kids. It's going to be somebody's family. To put this in more specific terms, there are 22 grants frozen by the EPA focused on improving health and reducing pollution, many of which directly impact children. For example, one project in Santa Ana, California, provided funding to help detect and prevent lead poisoning in children. According to the census, about 10% of the population in Santa Ana are under the age of 9. With a population of about 310,000 people, that means that 31,000 children are at risk of lead poisoning in Santa Ana without this funding. What is it about this grant that you and EPA believe is problematic enough to freeze this funding and put potentially 31,000 children at risk?
Senator, who is the grant applicant?
This is to the city of Santa Ana.
You have the biggest,
And are
you
you-
have the biggest
are you-
state, so
and
we're gonna
are
have to
you-
go through every single list of the grant.
Well,
by the way, with that wind up, by the way, I understand that you were an aspiring fiction writer. I see why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I understand your view that you can cut half of the agency and it won't affect people's health or their water, their air. That to me is a big fiction, Mr. Zeldin.
You
And
forgot about the fact of cleaning up
I have to
after
think,
LA
Mr. Zeldin,
wildfires.
I think, Mr. Zeldin,
President when I was in San
if
Diego.
your children were
With the
drinking
Tijuana
water,
River sewage crisis,
if your
apparently
children
we're going
were
out on our
drinking
own for
water
that.
in Santa Ana, Mr. Zeldin, maybe you wouldn't be so cavalier about whether there was lead in their water. Maybe you would give a damn instead of coming in here and suggesting that any grant that takes lead out of the water must be waste, fraud, or abuse because you
gentleman's
need
time has
because
expired.
you
Who said
need
that? The whole
the
thing,
money for a
everything
tax
you
cut for rich people
time. It's all
because
make-believe.
you're totally beholden to the oil industry.
The
You could
gentleman's time.
you could give a rat's ass about how much cancer your agency
you're trying to
causes.
destroy.
The gentleman's time has expired.
There you go. It's expired.
Phew.
We weren't on a
Boy.
hot topic at all, something that should be discussed. Let's cut it off.
Yeah.
Your time ran out. So did
Right.
most Americans' time ran out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is truly amazing. Let's go to the phones right now. We've got Dick up on the phone here. What do you got for us, Dick?
Good morning, Dick.
Well, as far as the dependency, they'll probably lower the age that you can work to about 10. So get a job, you 10-year-olds.
That's
Then
right.
You won't be dependent. But another quick thing that's in this thing that's really nice is the guy on MSNBC, Ratner, was crunching numbers this morning, and it'll roll us back to where we were 10 years ago with the Affordable Care Act. This number of people will strip off. And then one last thing to the Democrats. Their big thing now is they want a big field for 2028 for president. I suggest you concentrate on next fall because 2028 won't mean a darn thing if we don't even have free and fair elections by that time. In other words, I think that what they're up to right now with voter suppression, with the possibility of foreign entities interfering with our elections, it behooves us to make him the ultimate lame duck next fall so we don't have to worry about any of this. But to worry about 2028, I think it's time to maybe crawl before you walk.
Well, I would say so. Yeah, you're right. And the Affordable Care Act, by the way, they want to strip away the bonus tax credit that they gave during COVID, which, by the way, will raise your premiums for everybody who's on the ACA and the marketplace. It'll raise your premiums by $200 to $300 a month. So you're going to be losing that. Per year, you're going to lose at least $3,000 or $4,000 a year just on premiums alone for the ACA.
You know, the other thing that's sickening about hearing we got to have this huge field and mimic what they did in 16, I don't think they came out with the best candidate in 16. In fact, he lost by 3.5 million votes.
That's right.
Good
All
point.
right.
Thank you, Dick.
Yeah.
Appreciate that call. 19 minutes past the hour. When we come back, we'll check in with WMDX Chief Meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Get an update on the weather.
And we've got more of the hearing as well and some questions to Lee Zeldin, the EPA exec.
Oh, boy. Stay with us.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Brittany.
How's it going?
It's going. How's it going with you? We're just getting sunshine
I have a
now.
trombone, Brittany.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Have you played it on air yet?
I don't. Well, I made noise. I can't play it.
Do you play any musical instruments, Brittany?
I used to play the clarinet.
Okay.
Hey, me too.
Oh.
So
Drums.
It's buy a musical instrument day.
Yeah, buy.
Okay.
Look at the marketplace, see an instrument you like, buy it, fix
Buy
it,
it.
and you don't play it. What the hell
Right.
does that mean? What are you doing?
What kind of trombone is it? What's the brand name? Is it a Selmer or
really,
a Con?
Really
or...
cheap one.
Is there a name? on it?
Etude. E-T-U-D-E.
Etude?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, I love
30
those.
seconds.
Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah.
That could be worth thousands of dollars. my
I'm
friend.
sure. Especially because I fixed it with pipe solder, right?
Did you?
Yeah.
Is there lead in that pipe solder?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's fine. I'm not putting my lips on that part. It's
Okay,
fine.
well, that's good.
Well, he's
10
no
seconds.
longer young enough to be affected by. How about please? WMDX 90.7. This is John and Gordy on a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning.
Yeah, it was really cloudy when we started the show. Now we're seeing sunshine downtown and temperatures in the 40s. We'll get into the upper 50s a little bit later on today. Before we get to Chief Meteorologist Brittany Merlot, I have to make a correction on our crash box therapy commercial. Okay. We were
All right.
talking about it after I read it, and we were presuming that you could just walk in and do this. No, you do have to make an appointment. Okay.
Okay.
So just go to the crashboxtherapy.com website, and you cannot bring your own items. They have plenty of stuff there to smash up. Don't worry about bringing anything.
Right.
So just go to the website, crashboxtherapy.com. Okay?
Well, that sounds like a good plan. Let's
We
find
gotta
out what's
go.
going on in the weather.
We should take the entire morning show crew there and just go nuts. Don't you
It's
think?
one of those
like-
places
in
where you
fact-
can break stuff for anger
Yeah.
management.
Yes,
in a
It's going
sense,
to end up
therapy.
like an office
Yes.
space where they go out and bust up the printer. That's what it's going to be like with us there.
We
Isn't that a
should.
great idea? Yeah.
That
I
would be
think so.
too much fun.
I know.
Brittany Merlot, you are definitely invited when we get that going, okay?
Okay, good.
So-
Because I've got a lot of anger from Mother Nature pent up sometimes. You know what I
A lot
mean?
of
Yeah,
stress.
I know,
A
I
lot of
know.
stress in that job.
But
I can tell you.
today,
Yeah.
today things are looking up.
Yeah.
They
Getting better.
are. Yes, right on time, right? I brought the sunshine right out there for you. It's going to continue to be sunny today and pretty much through the entire weekend. The sunshine is taking over now. This high pressure system is going to steer a lot of the systems away from us. So we're going to stay dry until I think Monday evening is our next chance of a few scattered showers. And those could
Great.
continue into Tuesday. But otherwise, temperatures hitting about 60 today, low 60s tomorrow, mid 60s on Saturday. We're going to hold the mid 60s on Sunday, Monday, and then we'll flirt with 70 by Tuesday. So spring weather is back.
That's it. All right.
Excellent.
Getting out the shorts. Not really.
Yep.
Not really.
Almost.
No. Yeah.
We still have a
almost.
frost advisory up north. It's
Oh,
30
what?
degrees in Ashland and Superior this morning. I'm in a turtleneck. I don't know if you've noticed, but
Yeah.
I'm
did notice,
still
yeah.
freezing. Yeah.
Oh
No
man.
kidding. Wow. So do you have big Memorial Day holiday plans? Are you going to be doing any traveling or visiting family?
I have the family coming up to me this time. So we are going
Really?
to go kayaking. I think we're going to do some off-roading too. We're a big Jeep Wrangler family. So hitting the trails.
Oh great. That sounds like they would really love that. All right.
You got good weather for it. Okay.
Yes,
All
we
right.
do.
Thanks, Brittany.
Brittany,
Thanks,
thank you
guys.
very much.
All
It's
right.
our WMDX Chief Meteorologist, Brittany Merlot.
Let's continue now with the questioning of Lee Zeldin, the EPA secretary. This is Sheldon Whitehouse now. He took his turn of disapproving everything Zeldin was lying about, and this is cut 145. Check it out.
Well, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin and Democrat Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse squaring off over the agency's review of federal grants.
I now have three different versions of the facts,
that Travis
including
Boyles
Department
and
of Justice
and others
lawyers
are working on this every
who
single
admitted
day that
in
we're
court
in
that what you're
office.
saying
And we're
now
not going
is
to
not
waste
true.
dollars just because you insist on EPA lighting taxpayer dollars on fire. The American taxpayers, they put President Trump in office because of people like you. They have Republicans in charge of the House and Senate because of people like you. Because you don't care about 99% of this story. You don't want me to go through the list of all the evidence of waste and abuse. You
No,
don't
what
care
I want you to do,
in conflicts of interest.
What I
don't
want
care
you to
about
do-
unqualified recipients. You don't care about
what I
reduced
want you to
agency
do
oversight.
is explain why the Department of Justice lawyers representing EPA in court under a duty of candor have said that everything you've just said isn't true.
There you go.
Zeldin has been trying to cancel hundreds of Biden-era grants he says are a waste of taxpayer dollars. Sounds a little like the EPA and DOJ, maybe picking up some of the slack that DOJ has kind of left over.
And the administration has a lot of support for this. And just looking at the numbers, Trace, it was nearly 800 grants that were awarded by the Biden administration under the 2022 climate law, which directed the EPA to spend $3 billion on grants. And then the law allocated another $20 billion under the so-called Green Bank program. So they're trying to track down these dollars, and they said they've found a lot of waste.
Wandering endlessly.
Found a bunch of it. Yep.
All right.
Good.
All right, that's so. What a waste of money. Let's check out this next cut. 146. This is Whitehouse and Zeldin again about the lawyers and their opinion.
DOJ lawyers representing EPA admitted in the Circuit Court of Appeals that they are not accusing anybody of fraud. That's their quote, not accusing anybody of fraud. And EPA in that courtroom specifically reiterated several times that no grantee had engaged in any fraud, waste, or abuse. Do you stand by the statements of your lawyers in that courtroom?
I would love to be able to go through the list of all of the waste and abuse that I'm aware of, but it seems like you and your colleagues want anything other than for me to go through the list of evidence.
You're more than welcome to submit a list of all the evidence, but when I only have 5 minutes, I don't want you to...
You don't want me to go through the list of evidence.
You
You just
eat
want
up-
to say that
you
we
eat
don't
up-
have any.
you eat up-
right?
No,
You just want to say we
stop.
don't have any, and
Let me
then
stop
say
you.
I don't
Hold
have
on,
time to
hold
go
on,
through the list.
hold on. Let me stop you right there. It's not me saying that you don't have any. It's your lawyers in a court proceeding
So
saying you don't have
allow me
any.
to talk through it.
So I'll take it as a question for the record because our time is up. But please, give me your list. I'd be more than happy to
We
review
already
it.
sent you over a lot of it, but
All
I
right.
guess you have.
I just want to bring this up because Lee Zeldin, what's waste and fraud to him? 2 of the 8 nonprofits that were awarded billions of dollars last year were established in 2023. And according to him, the group's newness, he argued, made them unqualified. See,
Okay.
they have a different approach to all of this. They just read into whatever the hell they want. Remember
Right.
when Biden was throwing bricks of gold off the Titanic or something like that? Trying to wrap up all of the funding for all of these bills to save our environment. Well, that's bad too. That's we don't want to spend money on saving our lives and not giving us some kind of major
Why would we
disease.
do that, right? 7:29, right around the corner. We've got the Midwest Food and Farm Report, and then attorney Jim Santelle will join us right after that on John and Gordy in the morning.
In the morning, as we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Yeah, can I get to that while the slate is up?
Yeah. It pulls the sidebar up again. Click on where it says 3 people.
3 people. Okay. There we go. Can you see that, John?
I can't. No, it's too small.
I'll get closer then.
Well, I'll just here.
Jim is here.
Okay,
also.
go ahead.
Yesterday, Boston federal judge says Trump violated a court order in deportations.
That's right.
South
To Sudan, right?
Sudan, yeah.
Okay.
And then also, other topic, maybe a lesson in what habeas corpus actually means.
Oh yeah, I do have that
And then-
cut, Jim.
And then one more.
in
Hi,
case
Jim.
you want to hear that.
Just looking at your notes here. Also, Monday, Supreme Court permits Donald to deport 350,000 Venezuelan immigrants protected under the Biden administration. That was on Monday. Supreme Court permits the president to deport
All right.
300.
So I got Kristi Noem answering the question about habeas corpus. We'll play that.
Yes.
All right.
Good.
That's from
Great.
Senator Son. Okay. All
That's
right.
fun.
Hi, Jim.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Hey.
We're hanging in there.
It's so busy. It's so
Crazy,
ridiculous and
crazy.
stupid. And
Right.
with this, with this big bad bill passing. Wow.
Bad.
I mean,
Beautiful.
unbelievable stuff. Wait till people find out what's, being taken away. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't digest or reading something even yesterday from the Times saying that there's an aspect of that also affects Medicare too.
Yes, they're cutting $500
Medicare,
billion
Medicaid?
dollars from Medicare.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't think that they had details of what exactly that was. But
Yeah, that's what I couldn't quite figure that out. But
They're cutting SNAP, big SNAP program, cutting like $800 billion or something.
And they're doing
Just
everybody a favor by making the federal government, not pay as much and making the states pay more, which obviously the states love spending money on,
Federal
food and health care.
the states have a lot of money after all, right?
Yeah.
That's where all the big
Sure
bucks
they
are.
do.
So
Well,
Oh,
you know what they do, but they want to give that away as a tax cut. So you have, the federal government wanting tax cuts, states wanting tax cuts. It's kind of people don't want to pay for what they have,
Yeah. Well, and it goes to the larger issue, which I've always been scratching my head about. Consistent, Democrats do it too, consistent focus on cutting your taxes. Well, taxes, again, are the price we pay for a free society. Once your roads paved, your schools supported, that's
Right.
taxes. And this endless, for decades, notion that slash, I realize it has to do with the economy, a lot of the revenues, but just this notion that I will now introduce a new set of tax cuts. All right, at some point, does the government stop working because of that? And plenty does, right? So
Yeah.
and it's a winner on a campaign too, right? I'll cut your taxes. Well, at what consequence? But just as long as Sam isn't habeas corpus out of, as Kristi Noem would say. Don't get habeas corpus, Sam. That's a bad thing.
Try my best.
Sounds like a disease now.
I still want to know what she was doing with $3,000 in her handbag that Saturday night a few weeks ago. What was that going to do? What were you doing? $3,000 Saturday night downtown Washington.
Yeah.
What were you doing with that? Really?
3,000 cash.
It sounds like a cash payment for a gigolo.
She said apparently it was her grandchildren and other friends. So yeah,
She wanted that.
really?
She wanted an
Boy, I
escort.
wish my grandparents
Throw a
gave me
party?
$3,000. Yeah.
right.
Gordy, don't forget to throw in whatever sponsor here.
Hearing, yep, I got it.
Cool.
Hearing it. I'm going to do it off the top here.
Beauty. 30 seconds.
Okay. All right.
It's too many. WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning. Sounds like my last piano lesson that I took.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why did you give it up? You were doing so well.
I thought I was doing okay,
It is
but
by Musical Instrument Day.
yeah, it is. It is.
Sam, why don't you test out that trombone again?
No, not again.
How much did you pay for this thing?
Oh God.
What? Oh, look out, Boris. You know how to do that. Is that the only thing you know how to do with that
That's
trombone?
the only thing I can do, yeah.
How much did you pay for that thing?
I don't know, like $30.
Seems like a deal, and you had to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just,
All right.
you bought a broken trombone for $30.
It was only $30.
So you could fix it. All right. You maybe
He's Mr. Fix-It Man.
Yeah. All right.
It's 7:36. We've got sunshine now this morning after a cloudy start. Temperatures getting close to 60 later today. Right now, 46 degrees. This portion of the show being brought to you by Madison Hearing Aid Center. Go to MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. They're located at 4706 Cottage Grove Road. You can get your ears checked, and if you need them, you can find hearing aids there. They are helping people change their lives at Madison Hearing Aid Center. Their number one goal isn't just selling hearing aids, it's improving the quality of life through better hearing. And they have fast and flexible appointments. You don't have to wait months and months to get in. You can get in fairly quickly. Just call them up or stop in or check out their website, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. That's MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. Jim and Sarah will set you up.
All right.
Take care.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right. Our guest today is Jim Santelle.
Attorney at law. Dun, dun, dun. Where's our attorney
where's our
music?
attorney? I'm waiting for the big intro. Don't we have
the
a
Perry Mason music? Where's the
or Law and
Well,
Order?
I played
Law
the
and
intro
Order.
music to his show. I guess we'll
There
get
you
to that
go.
in a little bit if you'd like.
Well,
some
I know that,
Perry
but
Mason.
right now we're building up this this tension.
I have
Jim,
music
what's your-
wherever I go. Right.
Yeah?
Wherever I enter
What's
a room, the music plays just miraculously. Even the Sam is
What's
usually
your
there.
favorite
but
attorney music? What's your favorite attorney?
Yeah, which
Oh,
one of
gosh.
those shows?
Or which one of those shows do you like?
Yeah, you
Those
know,
legal shows.
Law and Order is fun just because everything from birth to death is wrapped up in 15 minutes, and the music represents that as well. Just happens, crime committed, victims identified, witnesses, appeals, and we're done. Move on to the next crime within 42 minutes of airtime. So
It's
that's gotta
amazing
be
how they do that.
Well, you've got it down. I think you've spent too much time watching those shows, Jim.
I think I have, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Jim
Well,
hosts
I know I
Amicus Law Review, and that's wonderful. 2 hours from 9 to 11.
Every Saturday.
Yep.
Yep.
A live program. You can call in and ask Jim a question.
That's right. And our phone lines are open too, 608-879-8255, 608-879-8255. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to get to here,
Well, why don't we
Jim.
get to habeas corpus? So let's get to the definition.
What is the meaning of this?
What the heck is habeas corpus anyway, right? I guess Kristi Noem was asked this. She's the Secretary of Homeland Security. She would certainly know
course
what
she
that
would.
is, right?
Why wouldn't she?
Yeah, well, Senator her son asked her what it meant.
Yeah.
So let's listen to the cut 139.
Okay.
Cut 139.
Here we go.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
There we go.
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let
to.
me stop you, ma'am.
Suspend their
Habeas
right to.
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
Habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Good question.
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let us be clear, though,
it
that
has
this
never
president,
been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
Well, so, these lackeys that Trump has put in place, they really, really, truly adore Trump, don't they? That is an amazing thing. And by the way, another questioner also mentioned, well, where is habeas corpus in the Constitution? And she didn't know. And of course, the answer is Article 1.
It happens to be one of those things that James Madison said. Maybe the legislature should make that decision. It's the big one right at the start. You don't have to get to the amendments even before you get to habeas corpus. So not a lot of reading for our secretary, but apparently she didn't want to do that before the hearing or before taking on this important role. And there we have it, right? It's again, you don't necessarily need to all know all the Latin, but let's do a little Latin just in case she's listening, right?
Yes.
So habeas corpus. Corpus, of course, sounds like it's body, right? That's the Latin for body. And habeas basically means you should have this. So you should have the body. It basically guarantees not a presidential right, not an executive right. It guarantees everybody a right to a hearing to determine the legality if there's a basis for detaining you. And it ensures that nobody in the United States of America, at least the one that existed before Kristi Noem was here, can be imprisoned indefinitely without a trial or some other legal justification. Basically, where's the body? Tell us about it, and the right to defend against your detention. That's what it means, and it's not that difficult. It frankly animates every single thing we've been talking about ever since March when the president started to deport all these people. All of that has to do with the right to come in and tell a judge somewhere who I am, what I've done, defend against this deportation request, explain what's going on, and see what the judge does with it. That's due process. And she doesn't get that.
I think it's kind of surprising, too, that she wasn't a little angry at Trump, because obviously she took the interpretation of habeas corpus from Trump's own interpretation of habeas corpus and kind of misled her. And then she, of course, made this mistake, which is recorded, and we just played it. So, misdirection plays all over the place. These people are suckers. All right, let's get to the big story, of course, is that a judge is angry that the Trump administration violated the deportation of immigrants to Sudan this time, and not a safe place to go.
South Sudan, we know, a place of horrific civil war. There was an attempt to try to bring that to an end. That fell apart. One of the most dangerous places on the face of the planet. Our own State Department, Marco Rubio's State Department, has warned Americans and others from visiting there. But we've got Brian Murphy. We've actually talked about him before. He's a federal district court judge. He's in Boston. And he has previously said, way back in April, you got to provide notice. Again, Kristi, habeas corpus, notice, due process, all those good things. He says you got to provide notice at least 15 days to immigrants who are being deported to a country not their own. So they have a chance to petition on that and push back on that. That's what the judge said. Sounds reasonable. It doesn't sound erratic in any way. And so what happens, obviously, just a day or so ago is the judge's hair, quite literally on fire, cannot properly do this justice unless you listen to the back and forth on this. Basically, he said that the administration has violated his order by deporting these people. We've got about 8 individuals in particular. Don't know exactly where they're going. They're from Cuba, Laos, Mexico, South Sudan, one of them, Burma, and Vietnam. And the uncertainty is where they are. There was a sense they were going to Ireland first, then Djibouti. We don't know where they are. And the point is, we don't know about this, what's going on. And the judge goes on to say the department's actions in this case, getting them on these planes and sending them out there, not providing them with notice, not providing them with due process, he says, unquestionably violative of this court's order. That's called contempt. It's also called, as we have talked about so many times on this wonderful broadcast, that's a violation of the rule of law. That's when the country begins to break down. Well, it's our Department of Justice attorneys, by the way. These are not, right? It's your department. This is going into court. These are my former colleagues, again, many years ago. The notion of going into a court and telling a judge, you can appeal an order, which they obviously do, but looking at a judge and saying, we're not doing that. And yes, it's very nice. I'll take notes, but it's not at all connected with what my client, the Department of Homeland Security, is doing. I'm either not going to tell them what you're directing. I'm simply going to disregard what you're doing. And we don't care. That is the end of the Constitution, right? That's no more checks and balances. We're at the end. And the question then is, what do you do with that? You've seen this before. We talked about Paula Zinnes. That's the Abrego Garcia case, and Boasberg in Washington, D.C. Judge named Stephanie Gallagher. She's also ordered directions with respect to a 20-year-old Venezuelan. All these folks telling your government, provide these folks with due process before you deport them. And if you don't, you're in violation of my order. And the response from the United States Department of Justice is very interesting. No. And they are, again, contempt sounds as bad as it does, in fact, convey. But the greater issue here is, what do we do about this with administrations now going to court and saying we don't care what judges are telling us? That's the end. That's the end.
Is there anybody challenging this to the Supreme Court? Because this seems like something that needs to be taken care of immediately. They need to at least come down on the side of at least telling the administration they can't keep breaking these deportation orders from judges.
Right. And so, interestingly, it's even more dramatic because to the extent that the Supreme Court has weighed in on some of these, and it has done a little bit, as late as a couple of weeks ago, it did say that under this Alien Enemies Act, which is not properly invoked, they've expressed some low-level concerns about it, basically said, once again, you do have to provide them with due process. Give them notice in their own language. It's not just a receipt. They've got to understand it. You got to get them in front of a judge. They have said that, and as late as just last Friday, indicated that the current policy of giving them 24 hours to challenge says surely does not pass muster. That's the Supreme Court. Those are the justices above.
That's true. They did say
above the appeals court judges, and they're simply not doing it. We don't care what the Supreme Court says either. That's the other complicating factor here.
Talking to attorney Jim Santelle from Amicus, a law review, which you can hear every Saturday on the Civic Media Radio Network between 9 and 11. Jim, maybe when we come back from this break, we can talk about Monday. Well, we can start the conversation here. Monday, the Supreme Court permitted the administration to deport 350,000 Venezuelan immigrants protected under the Biden administration. Your thoughts on this? I mean, where is this going?
Right. So, again, it's not necessarily a bipolar Supreme Court because, again, on Friday they said, gee, you do need to provide some protections here. On Monday, they say they have 350,000 Venezuelans. Those you can deport under a program called the Temporary Protected Status. Can tell you more about that and what Joe Biden did to invoke that to keep them here.
All right.
We will do that when we return with Jim Santelle on John and Gordy in the Morning. Stay with us. We didn't already cover that, did we?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
We mentioned it, Venezuelan, but didn't really go there yet.
Yeah. What is that status again? It's protective.
Yeah. So this is something that's actually a statute called the Temporary Protected Status. And so it's actually a law that was signed, again, I think it was by George Bush. It basically says the president makes a determination you can, in fact, protect groups of people. So what happens is that Joe Biden, again, former president, we seem to forget sometimes, did in fact say that we're going to protect, this is another group of Venezuelan immigrants, and it covers about 350,000 people. What happens on Monday, of course, is that previously, again, it gets back to Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem rejects all of this. She turns this back and says, no, we're rescinding that. Run into court. There's a district court judge in Massachusetts who said can't do it. Got some great language there about what he says about what the government's doing here. Gets up, Ninth Circuit affirms that, gets up to the Supreme Court, and under this other law, the Temporary Protected Status, they say, well, we're going to let the lower litigation go forward. But in the meantime, Donald, you can go ahead on any of these, where they lifted the stay, basically. They said you can proceed with all of this even while the underlying litigation is still going on. And again, it exposes now, as of 4 days ago, all these people to more deportations. Presumably, you still got to provide them with due process. But this is where Kristi Noem comes in. She's the one who takes all this away and says, no more protections for any of these folks. So it is arguably the largest group of people subject to deportation in our nation's history. It is just huge. And Supreme Court said, yeah, okay, go ahead and do that. That was Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have such a big problem with that.
Well, I think we all do. It's incredible.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Well, what's the other topic that?
Sure. I was about to say,
yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I was about to say, the other one is just this, again, speaking about arrests, we've got the U.S. Attorney in New Jersey who arrested or charged this LaMonica McIver at the for New Jersey, and just, again, that a protest there, and charged her federally. U.S. Attorney, this is Alina Habba, a whole different set of issues as to her, interim U.S. Attorney there in New Jersey. But for
she doesn't have any power at all. She's not part of the administration. I thought at this point, right?
She right. The until the president said yes, I'm just like the woman now in D.C. from Fox News. He's putting these folks in who they're interim, they're not confirmed, but they're doing what Donald wants, and she is one of them.
Amazing,
incredible,
and she's. This is that the clash, admittedly, was kind of ugly at New Jersey at that detention center. So McIver and two other lawmakers.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the courtroom. Please stand.
It is 7:52. This portion of John and Gordy in the courtroom in the morning is brought to us by Madison's Crash Box Therapy. Yes, Madison now has a place where you can break stuff. You can go in and smash your stress away. I bet Jim Santelle would like to come over to Madison and smash some stuff at Crash Box Therapy. They're at 319 Beltline Highway next to Pitcher's Pub. You can break, stomp, shatter, yell out all your pain or joy at Crash Box Therapy. Make your appointment now. Go to crashboxtherapy.com. That's crashboxtherapy.com.
It's kind of like stress out. It's kind of like the big bad bill. The Republicans just had their crash box therapy, destroying everything in government. Why not? Jim Santelle is with us. He hosts Amicus, a law review on Saturday from 9 to 11 o'clock, a live call-in show. You can always ask him a legal question if you'd like and get a clarification on some of the things that are going on nationwide. And that's what we're doing this morning. We want to talk about temporary protective status. And this is one of the things that it's hard for me to wrap my head around, only because if we give so many people temporary protective status, to just take it away seems completely unfair, and it should be illegal, because we've set these people in motion to stay here. They've gone through the process.
Right.
Everything is in place, and all of a sudden we just kind of pull the rug out from under these individuals. It just seems incredibly unfair. There should be a law to protect that from just willy-nilly being taken away. Don't you think, Jim?
Absolutely. And once again, this is a Kristi Noem special. We're back to her again, a member of our administration who doesn't know the basics of constitutional law. But you're absolutely right. This, again, is enacted by Congress, is this program. This is not the Alien Enemies Act. This is a different sort of structure here, and basically allows migrants from nations that have experienced national disasters, armed conflicts, extraordinary instabilities in their own lives, to work and legally stay in the United States. So what happens during the Biden administration? The Biden administration says, okay, I've identified about 350,000 people who fall in that category, and I'm going to keep them here because of the things that they would otherwise suffer back at home. Kristi Noem back in February says, well, no, we're going to terminate that 18-month extension of the temporary protective status, bring all that to an end. For what it's worth, the history on this, we've got another federal judge. His name is Edward Chen. He happens to be in San Francisco, and he says that what Kristi Noem is doing is unauthorized by law. It's arbitrary and capricious. One of those phrases that lawyers love to use and bandy about. Basically, it means it's senseless, it's got no basis, and it's wrong. And he says it's motivated, here we go, by unconstitutional animus. That's, again, a nice way of saying, frankly, racism. And we don't like you. We don't like you and what you are, and so we're going to get rid of you. He stops Kristi Noem from doing this. U.S. Court of Appeals, Ninth Circuit, they review it. They say, yes, let's keep everything in place. And then on Monday, even as all that litigation is still going on in the western part of our nation, Supreme Court says that the administration, for now, can go ahead and it removes those protections for these 350,000 people. And again, in the wake of that, the potential now for Kristi Noem and the administration to begin to deport, even while the underlying litigation about whether the law has been properly followed is still being reviewed. So this is, again, it's the Supreme Court invoking also, I know the two of you love this as well, this is their emergency docket. This is their shadow docket. They do this. They simply issue an order, no reasons, no justifications, and basically saying, Donald, as to this, go ahead. Even again, while the underlying merits have not yet been resolved. It's stunning. It's stunning.
It really is, and there is some dissent even in those dockets, right? Some of the justices can dissent.
Absolutely. You routinely, we've gotten that a lot from basically the three. On this one in particular, Ketanji Brown Jackson noticed that she would not have granted any review at all. And presumably, again, wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when they sit around and they talk about this in their private conference room? Those discussions alone would be fascinating and horrifying to listen to. But plainly, the minority on the court is losing all of these because you vote. And if you've got 6-3, you've got 5-4. The vote, then it's democracy, I suppose, inside the Supreme Court building. And in this case, it is a vote that affects more than 350,000 people in this country here under this particular statute.
Are you familiar with the Federal Appeals Court panel that is thinking about blocking mass voter challenges? Because, they challenged 364,000 voters, minority voters, mostly in Georgia. So they couldn't vote. So those votes didn't count. And a federal appeals court is looking at that and possibly blocking it. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes. So this is another appeals court. This is the 11th Circuit. There are others out there who do the same thing. And again, what are they doing? They're looking at all of these proposals and mandates and edicts by this administration and by states as well to stop what we've understood since 1964, the Voting Rights Act, to stop the basic trappings to permit people to vote. And again, we shouldn't have to be debating these things anymore, but we are. And that's where we are in America today.
It's crazy.
Jim, we got to leave it there. You can listen to Jim Santelle with Amicus, a law review, Saturdays on the Civic Media Radio Network from 9 to 11. Jim, always great to have you with us. We'll talk to you
next time as well. More Latin. We'll do more Latin for our secretary. How about that?
We need more Latin in the show.
Right?
Thank you.
Makes it look official.
Appreciate it. This portion of the show, thanks again, Jim. This portion of the show brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing remains constant since 1958. They are still direct-to-consumer, providing superior products at unbeatable prices. 2 locations in Madison, East and West Side. Go to Verlo.com. Tomorrow, Rocker will be here with a Max Inc. preview, also Pam Yankee. And it's Free Ticket Friday. More tickets, Brewer tickets to give away, John.
And we've got more Idiocracy.
Yes.
Unbelievable stuff.
We've got a plentiful supply. Yes, we do. Stephanie Miller is next. We hope you have a great day. Talk to you in 22 hours.
It's the John and Gordy Show.